We all want to simplify. Feeling burnt out on social media isn't fun. But how do you repurpose your videos efficiently and effectively when every social media network has a different requirement for the aspect ratio, the length of your video? How do you meet all those requirements? And you also might be feeling it's a little bit stressful to learn new editing software. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you about an editing app called Descript. And the latest version of Descript, which they're calling Storyboard, is really revolutionary. It integrates a lot of the features from the major nonlinear editing platforms like Final Cut Pro, like Adobe Premiere, but it makes it really simple so you don't have to spend years or months and months learning this new software. So let's get into it. Consider subscribing and click the notification bell because I don't want you to miss any of my upcoming videos. Okay, everyone, so I'm going to walk you through, first of all, the Descript interface. So over here, I've already opened my storyboard project. So if you do download Descript, if you happen to get access to the beta, you are going to have to create a new project to be able to access Storyboard. So I've already done that. I've imported my video. It's only about 1 minute and 40 seconds. And when you import your video, you have your video right here in the canvas, and then you have the script. The transcript is automatically transcribed, and that's here on the left-hand side. Now, new in Storyboard, you have on the right-hand side all of these elements that you can adjust. So you have lots of different visual effects you can adjust the audio, and we're going to dive into this, all of the different features that have been added in Storyboard. Step 1 is importing your media. And then once you have imported it, you're looking on the left-hand side, and the real power in Storyboard is coming from the ability to create scenes. It's what Descript calls scenes. And essentially, this is the same thing that you would do using the blade tool on your timeline. If you have familiarity with editing, on Descript, they still do have editing tools that you can use here on your timeline. And the timeline is right here at the bottom. So you can, select your media. You can use the blade tool to cut your media. But the power with Descript is that you're actually able to go through the transcript itself and make cuts and create scenes. So let me show you. So anytime I see a point where I want to create a new scene, I'm going to hit the / on my keyboard. And now I have a new scene. This is a thumbnail indicating the beginning of a new scene. So essentially, when you're creating that / you are creating an in and an out point. So currently the in point where this / and where the cursor is, that is from right where the cursor is, and then the out point hasn't been created yet. So I want to go through and I would listen, or I would simply just read the words of the transcript and decide where do I want to make my next cut. So let's say I want to make my next cut right here in the middle of this paragraph that Descript has created. So I can create a brand new scene, and we have a new thumbnail to indicate it. And what I like to do is I move the cursor, I hit the return key, and now, as you can see, we have a new scene, and it's just easier to see it when you have a double space and you have hit that return key. So step 2 is adding different elements to your scenes. Now you need to think of the scene as a container. It's containing your transcript. It's containing the video itself that you're editing. It's containing any sort of media that you're going to place onto that particular scene. And we can do that right in the transcript on Storyboard. So let me show you. If I want to create an intro, I'm going to put my cursor where I want to insert any type of media. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look at the intros. So there's just a few that they have. They'll be adding a lot more, but let's say that I want to insert this title. So you can see as soon as I insert it, it went exactly where my cursor was. So it's contained the in and the out point of this scene. Okay, so you can see here on the timeline that this title is already contained within the scene. I think of it as snapping to the video. So it's not going to move. In other words, this might be a little hard to understand if you haven't used a traditional editing program, but let me just say this makes everything so much easier for you, because when you move something on the timeline, in other words, everything is contained. You don't have to manually go in and lock all those elements on the timeline. You're simply working with the transcript to say, okay, I want this title to be snapped to this video and this audio, and you're not having to do it manually. And you can see collapsing the timeline or expanding the timeline, we can see this clip and the title and the audio all contained within the scene. Okay, so up at the top here, we have the insert toolbar, and this allows you to insert a lot of different elements such as media, any of your own media files, you would add it here. And then we also have a ton of different templates. We have intros, we have different overlays. And again, I'm going to really dive into this, but this is just to show you where you can find it on the interface. We also have your audio recording, and we can do screen recording. We're not going to be doing that at the moment, but you can see you can record your screen, you can record yourself, or you can record audio only. Okay, so if I wanted to add captions, I would put the cursor where I want to insert the captions, and then I'm going to hit Command-Shift-K on my keyboard, and you'll see it gives us all kinds of different options. So I could do an audio recording, I could change the speaker label, I could add text. So let's go ahead and add fancy captions. And so it's going to add the captions here, and again you can see it's contained just within this scene, and we can change the text over here if I wanted white text, and we could activate a word. We could also do a border. We can change the fill. We can do a lot of different changes of the way this text appears by just altering over here on the right hand side where this inspector is. But let's go ahead and play it. So that's what it would look like, and we can continue to play around and see what would work for us as far as the visual that we see on these captions. But it's really that simple, and now let me show you how to do a lower third. Okay, so if I want to add a lower third, as you can see, this already has a lower third, but for purposes of this video, what I'll show you is how I would actually remove that logo on the upper right and the lower third, just to add our lower third here in Descript. So again, hitting Command-Shift-K, and then I'm going to scroll down, and I am going to add a rectangle. So this is adding it in the orange color here. We can change that, but first we want to just get the sizing by stretching it, and then we can come over on the right hand side. We could change the fill. If we wanted something white, we could change it to any color that we wanted, you know, to fit in with our branding. And then we might want to change the border, you know, just playing around with it. And then we're going to add text, keeping our cursor so it is contained within that scene, hitting Command Shift K, and then we're going to come over here and add text. So now we have text within this scene, and I can go ahead and add my name here, Blue Lotus Films, and then just keep dragging it to where you want it on the rectangle, and then you can decrease your size here. So I probably want to get it about 50, something like that. And just play around with it and see how you want it to look, and then it will remain on the scene. Okay, so now I want to show you how to do precision editing on your timeline. So of course you can set your in and your out point using that / on the transcript. But if you want to tweak anything, you can go down here to the timeline and see where I have this fancy caption. It has an in and out point, which I marked in the transcript. Now, if I want to move anything, all I do is hover over the clip, and you'll see those two little arrows are coming up. I can move my cursor to the right, I can move my mouse to the right, and you'll see it just simply extends the fancy captions. So you can see I can just drag my mouse to the right, and you can see the fancy captions automatically go with it. So now these fancy captions are going to be extended in my video. So for instance, I might want to put a blur, I might want to add film grain, I might want to add fast blur. And at the moment, there isn't a lot of adjustment that you can do to the actual effects. So it's really just layering that over your video. Definitely not advanced effects like you have in a lot of editing programs. But I'm sure Descript, again, this is beta, so you'll be seeing a lot more features added where you can actually tweak the effects. Now let's continue to go down. Let's create a new scene. So right about here, maybe I want a new scene. I'm hitting the / and then I want to go up here and I want to look for like stock photos. I want to look for images. I could add stock footage. So let's just say we want some B-roll, and I'm just going to add people at office. Let's see what they have in their B-roll. Okay, wonderful. So I think I want to add these people. Now, this did go ahead and add, you can see down here on the timeline, it has added it and contained it within the scene. So it's going to play. And then when we get to this new clip, it goes back to the video. So this is really useful that you have some of these templates, some of these intros that you can add. So you want to just look out for the Jiffy library. You can add stickers. This is just amazing. You don't have to go outside of Descript to find your B-roll, to find your stock footage, to find even stock music, and adding all these different Jiffy stickers and so forth. So it makes it really simplified. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. Please let me know in the comments below, what feature do you like best about Descript, and what video projects are you working on? I truly love to get to know my community, so I look forward to hearing from you. And be sure to like this video. It really does help out this channel and trigger the YouTube algorithm. And please subscribe. Maybe you think you're subscribed, but double check. Make sure you've got that notification bell turned on, because I want to see you in the next video. I greatly appreciate you watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, everyone.